Hi, welcome back to my channel, Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Krisztina. Today we're going to talk about Venus and everything about Venus. It's, also about the duality as well. And we're going to talk about the retrograde period. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like, and comment below. And I'm your co-pilot. I'm here actually to help you to overcome any kind of challenges and difficulties in your life. And also I'm going to help you to go through and use all the and harvest all the positive energy for your advantage as well. So let's see what's going to happen over here with Venus. I'm going to do slideshows right now because I figured out a lot of people doesn't understand my accent, and it's usually not in my channel because whoever is subscribed to my channel does understand me very well, or most likely talks multiple languages as well, just like me. But when I'm invited to other channels, there is a lot of complaint about how fast I am and about my accent. But anyway, I'm going to try to share slideshow with you, just to summarize what I'm talking about over here, so you can actually see the screen and you're going to understand more likely what I'm talking about. So we have to talk about Venus a bit here. What is Venus exactly, and what does it represent? And Venus is the goddess of love and desire, but also, when it's destructive, it could be very jealous, and it could be also the goddess of war as well. So Venus is also governs attraction, anything to do with relationship, beauty, and values as well. Because what does Venus rule in astrology? The second house and the seventh house. Second house is Taurus, and seventh house is actually Libra, anything to do with relationship, legal matters. That is your followers, subscribers from YouTube channel, for example, alliances. That is your marriage partner, one-on-one relationship. And then in the second house, it's values, morals. It is also, a second kick, jobs, for example, anything to do with finances as well. And the food, what you eat, but it's definitely beauty as well, and attraction. Very deep desires, female hormones as well. And also, what I have to talk about here, because of we are talking about the second house and the seventh house, at morning time it rules Taurus, and night times actually it rules Libra. So, for example, we're also going to learn a little bit about, how many days does it take Venus to go around the zodiacal cycle, and it's about 224 to 225 days, right? And every 18 months it's going to go to retrograde. And it's, as I said, it's influencing two signs. It's influencing the second and the seventh house. And also we have to talk about a little bit the Venus star pattern, which is creating the five-pointed Venus star flower. And it is actually a formation which is completing in every 8 years, and it is a cycle, and it's going to follow a cosmic rhythm. So it's going to create a star in heaven. That is your Venus star point. And we can talk about that later on. And also, we can talk about the influence in the morning and at night, and why is it actually represent duality? Because of Venus, morning star is Phosphorus, is Lucifer, and very, very passionate and very masculine energy as well, and it is rising before the sun. And the evening star is Hesperus, and it is representing the feminine energy, and it's represent actually, it is actually everything Venus after sunset. So, for example, if Venus is after your sun, then you were born at night. It's Venus is before your sun, then you were born actually in the morning. That's what it represents, right? So what I wanted to show over here, Venus in mythology, Venus is also the goddess of love as war as well. And I was talking about that. For example, we have in mythology, which is like the Sumerian in Nana, Queen of Heaven, symbolizing power, passion, and destruction. And also the Babylonian Ishtar, a fierce warrior goddess tied to both love and war. And in Greek mythology, it's Aphrodite, right? It's desire, but Aphrodite often could be manipulative and vengeful as well. And then also it symbolized the feather serpent as well. Venus as a fallen god, a symbol of cycles of power, destruction, and rebirth. Venus is really truly the yin and yang. It's representing the yin and yang and symbolizing the yin and yang in astrology. So yes, that is the dual nature. The dual nature is the morning star, who is masculine energy, and the evening star, which is very, very feminine energy. And as I said, it's after sunset. And then if we are going further and we want to talk about the retrograde period over here, you can see Venus is going to enter the shadow period, or actually it's entered already, 24 degrees Pisces on January 28th. So the shadow period where it's going to go in shadow on 24 degrees. So when it's going to drop back to Pisces, it's going to go back all the way to 24 degrees. You will see when it's going to turn direct in April 12th. Then March 2nd, it's actually March 1st, it stations retrograde, and March 2nd, it goes retrograde in 10 degrees Aries. And March 23rd, actually, it will conjunct with the sun, right? In Aries in 2 degrees, and March 27th, it's going to drop back. I forgot to write it over here. Drop back to Pisces in exaltation, and April 12th, it's station direct. April 13th, it's going to go direct, all right? When it's stationing direct, that is the closest to the Earth, and it has the most effect on us, on our psyche. And May 16, it's going to leave retrograde period at 10 degrees Aries when it went retrograde. All right, guys. So that's what you have to know about the shadow period and also the retrogradation and what is over here, the timeline. So I just wanted to show the timeline as well. Yes. So what is this? It is a journey of reflection and transformation because of Venus in Aries is in detriment and in Pisces it's exaltation, but we're going to learn about that later on as well. So Venus is not only desires, but also because of the Taurus rules the second house of values, morals, and finances, the money that you earn. Actually, it's also currency in astrology. So it is also your money, what you earn, your wallet as well. And when it's stationing in retrograde, you always have to reinvent or redo something. So any kind of retrograde period, it's relive, rebirth, re-event, refine, kind of situation. And Venus is, because of it brings in a situation with love as well. Many of you are going to actually reconnect with previous relationship. Or it could also bring back some kind of financial issues from the past or some kind of financial situation from the past as well. So as you can see, the January 28th, when it's going to enter the shadow period in 24 degrees, it's going to be in exaltation. And it is just shadow period, but it has to do something to do with your finances, your self-worth, and also anything to do with your creativity as well, because Pisces is a very creative sign, and Pisces is a really psychic sign as well. Pisces is illusion, delusion, anything to do with unconditional love. It's ruled by Jupiter and Neptune, and actually Venus is, Neptune is the higher octave of love. It's the big sister, and actually it's brother because Neptune is Poseidon, but we're going to learn about also Poseidon and Neptune. They should not actually make to belong from Poseidon, because it should be a feminine god over there. But okay, so I didn't find the word. But yes, so that is the higher octave of love, Neptune. So Venus is the little sister over here. But Venus in Pisces feel like it is a VIP trip. You went to Bali or Hawaii, or you went somewhere where everything is granted to you. The best food, the best drinks. You are surrounded with love. You have all the attraction, which is like amazing bucket list trip, for example, VIP trip for you. All right, you see your favorite shows, you are with your favorite people, and everything is granted. That's how Venus feels in Pisces. So Pisces is unconditional love as well. And anything to do with nostalgia as well and emotional intensity, that's what it does in Pisces. So, for example, if you felt anything in January 28th and around that period, until March 2nd, when it was in shadow, yes, that's definitely was something to do with your creativity, spirituality, with your self-love, with spiritual love, karmic love. So maybe you created something beautiful in your life, which could be anything to do with art. Maybe you wrote a script, or did some kind of photography, or went to dance, because Pisces rules all of those. And also, it went actually March 4th, not March 4th, February 4th, it went to Aries, and it went in detriment right away. And March 1st, it's going to station retrograde in Aries in 10 degrees. So what does it mean? Um, uh, Venus in Aries. Venus doesn't like to be in Aries. It feels very, very fiery for her. She is everything about beauty. She even if she wants to fight sometimes and could be revengeful, Aries is a really, really strong and quick energy for Venus. Venus likes to take its time, but over here it almost like all right, let me love with my full heart, and let me do bold decisions and get into something which is very, very passionate and affectionate love affair here. Or if I want to invest, I'm going to have a bold decision to invest in something. Venus in Aries, it's totally lose sight of, safety here, because it's very bold energy and let's do it kind of situation. And then when it's going to go back to retrograde in Pisces, it's going to bring back actually something which is reconnect with a spiritual retreat. For example, it could help you to rewrite your script, or work on your photography, or work behind the scene again, what you have to reinvent, or you might going to have to edit something behind the scene. In Aries, when it's gonna go to retrograde, we're gonna talk about that, but I wouldn't do any kind of plastic surgery, because Venus is also beauty. And usually when we decide to do some kind of electional surgery, we could regret that during this time. Yes, so anything to do with old relationship could be surfacing, and it could actually bring in some kind of closure and healing for us. But it also can might going to test the authenticity of the relationship as well. And because that is the theme of the retrograde, for example. Also because Aries rules the first house, right? It is we going to ask and question our self-values and or personal values as well, self-worth and personal values. We might not going to have that much confidence. Might not going to have that much confidence to speak and, to be in the center of stage, for example. It could be difficult during this time. Also, money resources, it could require some kind of reevaluation of your investment, right? Anything to do also with Neptunian influences, because when it's going to go to Pisces, it's very foggy. Neptune is creating fogginess and inflation. So it is like, oh, should I keep still my money in, for example, crypto or in this stock because somehow I feel like it is in decreasing and I'm not sure about that. But definitely, if it is some kind of artistic project and you have to edit it, this is good for editing. It's when the tides are going out. So you are collecting anything that comes into your web, for example, but you're not going to go after for something. You're not going to initiate something. Just stay still. That's what it requires. Anything to do with the Venus retrograde or any kind of retrograde in general. All right. So how can it actually affect us? So, for example, when it's going to go to retrograde in Aries between March 1st and March 27th, it could be something to do with your self-assertion, anything to do with passion over harmony, and you will need to compromise a lot and you want to prioritize your independence as well because of Venus in Aries. It requires a lot of independence. It is like I don't want to maybe I just don't want to be touched, for example, and my partner is always hugging me, and even at night, they are huggers, and I just, can you just leave me alone because I can't sleep, like that kind of situation. um, so it's going to focus on self-love because Aries is self-centered. Could be because it rules the first house, right? And it is going to take charge and actually personal empowerment and taking charge on personal desires, and it's going to be very, very important. And right now, even the relationship, if it doesn't make sense, it is just like gonna lead to a breakup because of I'm not going to risk myself, my independence over here. It's not going anywhere. You know what? I don't want to do anything with this relationship. But also during this time, it could bring in some kind of very reckless and very, very heated conversation with our partners, or yeah, usually it's either financial partner or anything to do with love partners as well. It could be like some kind of breakups or some kind of fights and verbal conflict as well, but very heated interactions during these years. It's going to definitely bring back passion for some who lost the passion with, for example, it past relationship as well. So it could bring a lot of passion back. But it could be also like I have the courage right now to work away from toxic relationship. Maybe I was living with a narcissistic person and I don't want to live with that person anymore. So this could be that for sure. And actually, I wanted to start with um, but I don't even know. I didn't even get a quote for you this time right now, but that's all right. All right. So when it's going to go to Pisces, March 27th, it's going to go back to exaltation. And what does it really mean in Pisces, right? So it thrives here. It's emphasizing everything about Venus and emphasizing about Neptune as well, and the Piscean energy, creativity and spirituality. It is emphasizing everything to do with maybe you're going to get a job back if you were nursing, or if you want to work in hospital, hospitality, jail, orphanages, anything to do with vets or underprivileged. This is a very compassionate time right now. But also because in Pisces, it could be very delusional, it is like, okay, can you do a reality check? Because it seems like you want to escape from the world. It seems like, you don't live in reality. You live in La La Land, in dreamland. It will bring back a lot of dreams for you, and it's going to be very lucid and really, really like vivid dreaming as well. You might want to do hypnosis and go to some kind of spiritual healing, maybe do a combo ayahuasca or San Pedro, something to do with medicine, with earth medicine, Venus in Taurus, anything to do with earth medicine. It could bring also financial shift, but if it is financial shift, it's coming back from the past and it was some kind of old habit, something what you have done, and it could connect with spirituality or creation or creativity, which could actually bring some kind of amazing opportunity to create more abundance in your life through that. There could be a lot of emotional turbulences. A lot of people can escape in drugs, or it could be like some kind of side effect of maybe weight loss medicine, or it could be some kind of side effect, maybe something to do with beauty product. You used that in the past, and somehow right now it's going to give you allergy. That kind of situation as well. All right, what else we have over here? Yes, so it's going to actually create some kind of opportunity and some kind of challenges and issues as well for the collective. And guys, I always talk about the geopolitical situation around us. And as you know, for example, Israel has Taurus Sun and Libra rising, and like the situation with Gaza right now, it's very, very disappointing and truly, truly upsetting. And what I can say over here, it could bring in some kind of issues with the ceasefire. Perhaps there is going to be some. Somebody is not holding up to what they promised, for example. And there could be something to do with also because territories. So Pisces is the boundaries, right? And actually Pisces has no boundaries. It's new borders, no boundaries. It's the sea and the seashores. So you see where I'm going over here. They really want to take Gaza away. And as I learned right now, because Neptune rules natural gas and oil as well, and at the Gaza area we have a lot of resources. We have a lot of oil and natural gas, and obviously America wants to get Gaza as well for out of nowhere right now, but they want to actually do some luxurious hotel. And what is Venus? Venus is luxury, and Neptune is higher octave of Venus, so glamour. So they want to create some kind of glamorous hotel over there. I think a lot like how can the people go there? For example, if you have ever been in Auschwitz, you feel the souls. You do. It's very, very overwhelming on your soul. And I do feel souls everywhere. Even in America, when I went to Yosemite and went all over, I felt when there was someone who died, Indians or, Native Americans, for example, being massacred. And how can you even go there? What kind of human being you are, where they actually killed? They say it's 56,000 people, but some professor who I listened, they said at least 3 times more. So it's 150,000 at least. And you build a hotel over there, and you're gonna have party and enjoy it and the luxury and everything on the soul of the innocent. This is like absolutely inhuman and crazy. So it is just making my blood boil. So it's very, very upsetting for me. And any kind of, taking human lives, it's really, really upsetting for me. What else could it bring? So, okay, let's see the financial market. Because Venus is currency as well, it could actually become volatile on financial market. Listen, guys, I told you, if we have tariffs, right, then other countries going to put tariffs on us as well. So obviously export-import business going to become difficult. We're not going to have our favorite, Italian cheeses or Mexican whatever ingredients and Arabic spices because it's going to be extremely expensive. Who going to suffer? not the rich, never, because they get a lot of things for free anyway, it's granted for them. It is always the people, the general, the average people who suffer the most, right? From any kind of political decisions over here. So, all right, that could happen. Also, because of Pisces rules the shores, the ocean, the ocean weather, Venus is exalted over there. It could indicate some kind of issue, weather-related issue, maybe something to do with the water as well. Offshores could get flooded, and it could be, and it doesn't even have to be tsunami or anything to do with hurricanes yet, because it's not season, but you never know because climate had changed, right? So we never know, but it could be something to do with water related issues over there. So yes, and also if we are checking the financial market, what does Venus rules luxurious good and anything also to do with entertainment, anything to do because it's in Pisces. Pisces is entertainment, and Pisces is inflation as well. It's pharmaceuticals as well, so it could indicate some kind of issue with pharmaceuticals. By the way, I wanted to also say something about the war on cartel. So as you know, I always do research. I constantly, even if I'm walking the 5 miles at night, I'm listening podcast and information. And I have a few people, professors and historians who I listen all the time and learn from them. But listen, is America ready to have a war on Carter? Because right now Carter is going to be also, which I really like, because I hate the fact our children are going to be poisoned with pharmaceuticals and they taking advantage on us, and it is a sick care, not a health care. But Carter has power. Carter has more power than maybe even terrorist organizations. And on the other hand, Carter is not only have a lot of money, but it's also very close to us. So we are talking about actually the Colombian, the Mexican, and the South American cartels over there. We know what's happening. When you kill an Escobar, you're going to have 5 other new leaders coming in. And the dragon, if you want to slay the dragon and cut off one head, 5 more is going to grow. So, all right, so that is one thing. And the other thing is over here, I'm not saying we should not go, and try to eliminate it, because as I said, I truly have enough what they are doing. And we have a lot of fentanyl overdose. We have a lot of people who are using cocaine. Escapism is a thing. And we have a stellium in Pisces. This time for a long time, with Venus retrograde and Mercury also gonna go retrograde this year. So we're gonna have a major Pisces influence over here. So obvious there is a Piscean team coming in, and that's anything to do with cartel mafia and hidden issues and drug addiction. And it is also the way we are numbing ourselves, illusion, delusion. People cannot take reality. I realized that when I'm reading the comments and the way they attacked me all the time, like if I say something and for example, they don't have the right information, or they didn't read it yet, or they didn't know about that. People often not even going to go and check it if it's true or not. They just attack you. But because of, they might be bored, or they might be actually very, very lonely or hurt. And somehow it has to come out on one way. And because of they are home by themselves, keyboard warriors, they attacking people. Because of on social media, we are unhumanized, because of we don't have real personal connection. And it's almost like an AI talking to you. So they think you can take any kind of shit over here, but whatever. So that's why a lot of people, because of either they have no purpose, or because of they lost their values, or they lost in life, and that's why they're using drugs. Listen to me. I got so surprised when I learned my neighbor's parents, like with young children, they are all using something, either cocaine, either like always stoned, or they use mushrooms, or they use, I don't know, SSRI, anything to do with depression medication, or anxiety pill, or all of them, or drinking like crazy, and and it is just very, very weird for me. So I rather to face reality, but obviously it's not everybody's cup of tea. Even if it's hard, I rather to take it. All right, so let me see. It could really bring in some kind of issue with Carter, or bring back an issue with Carter. That's what I wanted to say over here. We can also have some kind of rule and law around maybe how you practice. And if you can have something around the medical marijuana use, or pharmaceuticals, or any kind of issues with mushroom like ketamine, and mushrooms like that, like for depression, for example. And there is a new law which could come in, because Venus in Libra, it's legal matters, right? So it's a new law. It could indicate a new law. And Pisces ruled by Jupiter, which is law, right? So that's why I'm saying it could bring in a new law around drug situation, and anything to do what is legal and what is illegal right now. Or it could indicate like, all right, we are letting go everyone around the country or everywhere in the earth who had medical marijuana possessions, because it's not a drug. We're going to consider not to be a drug anymore, and they should consider that, because cannabis has a lot of healing properties as well. I told you guys I cannot smoke marijuana or do any edible, because of I just totally invite all the spirit world in. I open up my chakra, and they are attacking me right away, and I see a lot, even if I try or smoke a little bit, and I just can't at all. So I wanted to be a Rastafari, and I rather to have a little puff than to drink and ruin my brain cells. But I was like, okay, it's not me. I cannot do that. All right. So that's what we are doing over here. So this is Venus retrograde. And new economic policies could be also, and anything to do with the currency values, it could become volatile, right? As well. And it could be like new art shows, but not new art shows. We're going to learn about actually lost arts, which is going to be found, for example. Um, so that could be, or lost cities under the sea, and it's going to oh, we found it, and it's beautiful, Antarctica or whatever, like we find something which is very valuable, which was lost under the ocean, could be as well. We can find, for example, a lot of gold or gems or diamonds in the sea, which was a pirate boat, for example. Saturn still in Pisces, so we have to consider whatever is actually traveling during this time in Pisces, and Saturn is ship, right? So we can find some kind of pirate ship which was sink, and okay, it's going to merge right now and coming up, or maybe the Titanic, somehow they're going to, because with that kind of Pluto in Aquarius kind of situation, everything is the technology going to be so evolved, we might going to actually be capable to have the ship somehow lifted up and bring back, and there is a lot of value over there on that ship, right? So because of its alliances, Venus also in Libra, we're going to see some kind of territorial war. As I said, Gaza, as I said, Taiwan, China, as I said, Ukraine and Russia as well. So definitely it could be some kind of issue with territory, right? And it could shift the alliances because of, all right, so if you took this away from me and that's my friend country, then I'm not going to import or export for you or from you because of I'm not going to support you anymore. There is also going to be something to do with the leadership. I told you guys, even when Saturn and Neptune going to conjunct in 0 degree in later on in Aries. And why do I talk about that at this moment? Because Venus also goes retrograde in Aries. So Aries is going to be very influential. Martian energy going to be very influential in 2025. Plus, we have a period 9 year in Feng Shui. Plus, we are having a numerologically 9 year, which is also Mars ruled. And the period 9 is also fire. So we're going to have a lot of drought. We're going to have a lot of fire as well, but not only drought, and because of North Node in Pisces as well, it's the great flood just because of the big drought for a long time. The flood is coming in, the rain is coming in, and it's become a flash flood. So it's back and forth over here. But definitely that it's going to, increase some kind of Venus retrograde in Pisces and in Aries, they could actually have the result of the PDD cases and all the politicians or famous people who were involved, their names are coming out. It could be that, because it's resurfacing something that was delusion. So it could be that as well. Yes. But definitely it's going to when we're going to have again in April when the snow is actually melting, we're going to have a lot more flood coming in because Venus is exalted over there. So it could be early hurricane season as well. Maybe it's not going to start in June. It's going to start in April, May. And I remember once when we came into Key West 25 years ago, we had it started actually in April already. We had category 3s and 4s, and it was crazy hurricane season. So it could bring in something like that. And because of Aries is the soldier, and anything to do with Pisces, it's cartel and mafia, it could actually, surge the activities of the cartel activities during this time, for example, which is going to bring in more conflict. But as I said, because of the recent administration, it is going against the cartel, and the cartel has power, like really, really big power. We're going to see, for example, how many politicians, senator, and are involved actually and in Qatar, or bribed, because otherwise they would kill their family. Who knows? But it could be that as well. So we will see a lot of activity as well. But on the other hand, because Venus is exalted in Pisces, we're going to see a beautiful renaissance coming back. We're going to value, for example, like script writing, photography, and art, and dancing, and ballroom dancing as well. We're going to become more compassionate for the one who is pressed on the edge of society. And in Aries, we're going to be the spiritual soldiers, the spiritual fighters. We're going to have courage to talk up for the underprivileged, right? So, or we're going to, for our loved ones, Venus is for our loved ones, fighting for our loved ones, fighting for what we believe and what we love. So this is very, very important. All right, so right now I'm going to go one by one every individual sign over here. So Aries rising, Sun and Moon, you will have that in your first house and 12th house, right? Starts in your first house, goes back to your 12th house. So anything to do with identity crisis, you feel like you are misunderstood or unseen, for example. You also want to change your appearance as well, like maybe change your wardrobe or your hair, or maybe you want to have a nose job, not right now, because, it could turn out to be bad for you. It could bring back a lover from your past as well. And you might going to have to take on to some kind of unresolved situation. Like in the past, it was a breakup, and it's bringing it back only until you solve this relationship. It could also bring some kind of conflict in love, because you need independence, and you're going to actually tell your partner you need more independence, and your partner might not going to like that, or going to think you are very, very selfish. It could also bring in some kind of spiritual solitude in your 12th house, anything to do with, like you want to go to a retreat or go back to somewhere where you felt really good about yourself. It could also, you might going to go back and want to do, what is that? Like, um, like rehabilitation center. Maybe you use some kind of, or you have some kind of addiction, and you are like, all right, you know what? I want to go back because I relapsed. Some kind of situation could happen as well. You can have some kind of secret affairs for sure, because it's the 12th house, but you can work on the behind the curtain. Maybe a stage director, maybe you go back to work in a hospital, for example, working on a hotel or an Airbnb. And it could also bring up some kind of hidden enemies. You will find out who is your hidden enemy. And it could also bring up something what was lost. For example, jewelry or art was stolen and somehow it's coming back to you. You're gonna get a lot of creative inspiration, and you're going to actually find some kind of closure also for finances, anything to do with financial relationship with others and your finances as well. All right, Taurus rising sun and moon is going to happen in your 12th house and in your 11th house. So 12th house is anything to do with your subconscious, anything to do with your hidden matters. It's karmic love affairs as well. It could bring back some kind of karmic relationship or get rid of some kind of toxic relationship here in the 12th house. It could bring back returning dreams, for example, lucidity. You can go back to hypnotherapy. You can actually go back, if you still struggle with addiction, you can go back and heal yourself. There could be also some kind of conflict, maybe in late March, in some kind of social group over here, stirring drama with a community or a friend, or it will bring back actually a friend for you from the past. And if you were working on something which has value and priorities, but it has to have some kind of teamwork, there could be an issue rising, because it's illusional, delusional in Pisces, and maybe you don't express yourself well, and you don't get what you deserve. It could bring in some kind of financial setback or some kind of delay in project, and also the values with the team could clashes as well. Uh, you can lose interest in socializing, for example, because I don't want to be around anyone. I want to have solitude, and it could bring in some kind of romantic confusion. Maybe you're gonna fall in love a friend, or it could be also like you're going to get attracted to your friend's husband or wife, so it could be definitely difficult. It could bring back a childhood dreams as well. So, all right, Gemini rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 11th house and 10th house. 11th house is your hopes and wishes and money from your career. It's long-term goals, and 10th house is anything to do with career, honor, recognition, public image. It could bring some kind of friendship back, for example, what you valued before, and they are ready to do the mend the relationship. It could also bring some kind of financial delays. You were promised to get a bonus, a promotion, and it's going to get delayed, or actually it could bring back also an investment opportunity, especially if you are investing with friends. If you have anything to do with networking, social media, this is also then it could be like your reputation could be a little bit struggling right now during this time, and it could affect your career as well. But maybe you posted something on social media, but you regret later on. It could create some kind of clash with your authority, with your boss, the CEO of the company as well. And try not to get into courthouse, or don't try to, try not avoid issues with also someone who is an authority figure. If the court situation is coming back to you, then it's going to turn for your favor. But people can question right now your public image and how you represent yourself. Are you authentic, or are you actually just preaching water but drinking wine kind of situation? All right. You need to really decide what is your career goals. And if something could come back, which is very positive for your career, and it could bring in a recognition if it's in art or spiritual field, definitely. All right, Cancer rising sun and moon is going to happen in your 10th house and in your 9th house. 10th house is honor, recognition, and public image, and your career. 9th house, anything to do with long distance traveling, older siblings, philosophy, religion, high-end study, and publishing, podcasting, YouTubing as well. So it could bring back opportunity on those fields. Maybe you are finishing a book and publishing it. It could also be like, all right, I'm actually questioning my religion, my philosophy. Does it really suit me? Is it authentic? It could be like clashes between you and your sibling, for example, or it could be like, well, I wanted to go for traveling, but right now I feel like I don't want to go to that country because somehow I don't feel the connection with that country anymore. It could bring some kind of issue with public recognition. It could get delayed a little bit as well. Anything to do with writing and launching a project right now, it's in retrograde. So if it's a new project, don't do that. If you have to edit your book, or if you have to reconsider something to do again, then it's going to turn out for your advantage, obviously. It could be like you had a mentor before and it's going to reappear in your life again. Long distance relationship might going to suffer some kind of issue going to have with it and suffer a little bit because of, you are not capable to travel as much as you could have before, because Venus retrograde could bring in financial situation as well, financial challenges as well. Yes, and also you're going to question like this, what I'm studying, majoring, is it going to support my career or not? Leo rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 9th house and 8th house. Listen to me, 9th house, anything to do with older sibling, traveling and philosophy and publishing and podcasting, and anything to do with foreign matters, visa, export, import, citizenship. 8th house, anything to do with taboo, sex, death, tax, anything to do with stolen money, anything to do with, like financial struggles, right? It is your prenups as well. It's surgeries belong from here, investigation. So it could bring back a case for you, which could be solved right now. It could be some kind of financial issues, identity theft issues, bank issues, debt relief, for example, mortgage payment, like, all right, I thought I paid off that credit card, but I didn't, and I'm going to get my credit score is low, and I wanted to buy a house, so something like that. You're also going to question your philosophical beliefs, and you're going to have a lot of spiritual doubts right now. Or you might going to go back to a belief as well. It could. And if you have any kind of legal contract, if it started before and it's coming back to you, that is turning for your advantage. If it just start right now, then it could actually bring in some kind of challenge for you. Do you have intimacy issue, for example, 8th house? If you do so, and if you are not romantic right now, so it could bring back a very passionate lover as well. You are obligated right now to pay off your debts and your loans or do a prenup, and maybe you get upset because you thought you are in love, and why would you do a prenup right before you marry, but your significant other who you want to marry with, it could actually want to have a prenup. It could bring in and bring back a second lover for you, and you can actually remarry the person second time with the second husband or second wife. All right. Virgo rising, sun and moon, 8th house and 7th house. 8th house, anything to do with death, financial issues, prenup, taxation, investigation, psychological work, shadow work, intimacy, sexuality, abortion, miscarriage. 7th house, anything to do with your partner, your YouTube followers. It is anyone who is actually legal matters as well, one-on-one relationship. So, there could be some kind of trust issue, and it could be some kind of hidden trust issue, power struggle, maybe because of, your significant other spend money like crazy or hiddenly spending money. It's disappearing from your account or from the saving account that you have together. It could also be like some kind of reassessment over here in relationship. Do I want to get married or I don't? Right now I'm getting a cold feet. Or do I trust this person? It could bring back a relationship from the past as well. An ex-lover return, and it could be very, very romantic, but it could bring in a legal conflict as well, or bring back a legal conflict actually. Maybe you had some kind of issue with your business partner before, but it's disappeared for a while and it's repeating again. And it could be something with addiction. Right now, the business partner was sober for 3 years, but it's happening again and you have to break up because you cannot take it anymore. You need to seek for consulting and therapy, some kind of shadow work, psychological work. It has to be some kind of emotional transformation for you guys. And you can also have some kind of very, very vivid, sexual fetish is possible during this time. All right, Libra rising, sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 7th house and 6th house. 7th house is partnership, legal matters, alliances. 6th house is service for others. That's your tenancy. It's your rental property. It's your small pets. It's your health as well, and your colleagues and your workforce. So it could bring back a work for you. If you got fired right now, they're gonna hire you. It could be also because of COVID vaccine. A lot of people get fired, and right now they can get back the job, or they can get reimbursed for that money, but they lost over there. They can go to court. It could also bring back an ex-partner for you, and a marriage commitment. Maybe you're going to actually redo the vow with your significant other. But some kind of distraction could happen at work. Maybe you need to renovate the workspace. Maybe you need to fire someone, an employee, because of they have some kind of addiction issues, or they delusional, they don't do, or they don't really understand what they need to do at work. So it could bring those up for you. It could bring a pet issue for you as well. So anything to do with pets, anything to do with maybe you have to have a second opinion if you have a pet and that has some kind of seizure or some kind of health medical attention. It needs some kind of medical attention, for example. And you definitely have to have some kind of health regime, but some kind of old health regime or beauty regime coming back to you, what really helped you in the past, and you want to reapply that again. Scorpio rising, sun and moon is going to happen in your 6th house and 5th house. 6th house is work and health, and and rental properties and colleagues and your pet. And fifth house is anything to do with your, investment, children, creativity, love affair, romance, and winning. So it might going to bring back an opportunity to invest in something, but you thought it was lost. It could also bring back some kind of issue, maybe with a coworker or re-employed, if you lost your job before. But it could also bring back a pet for you. Maybe you lost your pet and it's coming back to you. You find your pet. You also might going to rehire your employees because of, they quit or you had to fire them, you had that to let them go, and right now you have an opportunity to rehire them. It could also bring back an opportunity with a rental property. Maybe you wanted to buy the rental property and they said no before, and right now you're going to be capable to negotiate over that. It will bring back passion and creativity as well. You can work again on even in children's needs and with children's and anything to do with romance and love, but it could come back. If your creative project going to get delayed a little bit because you have to reassess it, don't worry about that, because of when Pisces is gonna go direct April 12th, you're going to be really, really fine over here. And you're going to maybe enjoy your children the way you did before. You're going to reconnect with your children, and you can have some kind of old traditional way to connect with your romantic partner and with your children as well. All right, my fellow Sagittarian risings, it's going to happen first in our fifth house and after goes back to the fourth house in Pisces, anything to do with love over here with children, you might going to become nostalgic and thinking about a past lover, or somebody is reaching out from the past for you. It could be also some kind of creative blockage and you don't find the muse, or maybe you are very active and your brain is really active, so you are not capable to paint or do something creative right now because the energy is very high. It could be like, all right, you know what, my perspective had changed and I'm not that inspired anymore, so it could bring in a blockage as well. And if you are planning a pregnancy, either it could bring back an opportunity with fertility, or to talking about children, or actually the pregnancy could get delayed a little bit, need more time to manifest that child. It could also be like, all right, do we want to relocate? It could bring back actually an opportunity to buy a house that you wanted before. Somehow it's going to go on market again, and maybe it's going to be available for a better price. It could bring in some kind of parenting conflict, Venusian energy. The children needs a lot of money. The value of money, it's like they don't understand, and they just like, oh, can you buy this, and can you pay that, and like things like that. Or if you do renovation and buying furniture, you might going to hit the furniture you bought, or it's not comfortable, and you don't know how to return it. But definitely it could be like the living arrangement is changing and a really great opportunity coming back to you. Something is going to be very favorable and you're really going to love that when Venus is going to turn back direct in April, and maybe you finish the renovation or buy a house and it's beautiful, or your dreams and desires coming through. All right, Capricorn rising, sun and moon, it's going to happen in your fourth house and third house. Fourth house, anything to do with family roots. That is the history, that is living situation, right? And endings as well, funerals as well. And third house is anything to do with your neighborhood community, younger siblings, short-term traveling. And also it could be also like workshops and craftsmanship and sales and your website as well. So you might going to redesign your website. You can go back actually to study something, or you can recreate your workshop online if you are teaching online. It could also bring back an opportunity with moving, and maybe you have to redesign something. You started the design, but somehow it didn't turn out the way you wanted, so you have to call back all the people who worked on your house, and you tell them, okay, you have to fix it. You need to fix that right now. So definitely could bring in some kind of issues with real estate. The process could get delayed a little bit. It could bring in some kind of obstacles. And, if you have neighbor or siblings rivalry or issue here, then, it could be reconnection with a neighbor and sibling, or it could bring also some kind of jealousy as well, war as well, because of it's the goddess of war as well. So, but it's definitely could bring you back, you know, good opportunities even with traveling and visiting your siblings, for example. Aquarius rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your third house and second house. Third house is neighborhood community, anything to do with siblings, anything to do with short distance traveling, craftsmanship, workshops, your website, your neighbors. And second house is anything to do with your values, morals. It's the money what you earn. It is the food what you eat. So definitely you might go back to kind of old supplementation, right? What you used before because it helped and you felt good about that, or some kind of diet what you did before because you want to look beautiful again. And then the third house, anything to do with, okay, you know what, I want to make up with my neighbor or with my brother or sister because of we lost contact and I want to be closer. So any kind of argument could have a closure right now, um, it could bring in some kind of issues with laptops, anything to do with your computer, with your car, or maybe even with the way you express yourself. You need to watch how you express yourself. Very, very important. Um, Conversation issues, writer's blockage as well, frustrating. You are not creative. You are stagnating a little bit, and um, and something the third house and something to do with self-worth, like, all right, I need to become more spiritual, I need to use more glamour and glitter because I want to feel wealthy, and maybe you're going to go back and get some kind of advice from financial advisors right now, and you can let go of a lot of possessions at this moment. And my fellow Piscean rising sun and moon is going to happen in the second and third house. First house, anything to do with your self identity, the mask what you wear. And the second house is your possession, it's your finances, right? It is the food what you eat. So Venus retrograde in the second house could be unexpected expensive or bringing back an opportunity to earn money, but it has to be something with creativity, right? And or to become a spiritual warrior. You want financial stability, you want material success, and your values going to be shift. You're going to get detached actually from a lot of material things as well, even if you want to have success, because you're going to understand, it just hold you back, it's just keep you back. So you don't want to have that kind of superficial wealth. You want abundance, true abundance, which is also happiness. The way I feel about myself, my psyche, the way I represent myself. I want real purpose in my life. I want compassion, and I want to be surrounded by compassionate people. You're going to have a style makeover, and you can go back to something what you used before. Maybe going to go back to the 70s using clothes, like very classic clothes from the 70s and not baggy, what usually do right now, and those kind of, but I don't understand, probably I just don't understand that kind of new style and fashion, but it's also like you want to use new skincare. Don't use new ones. Go back to the one what you used before, because that's what's going to work for you, Pisces. But definitely because it's going to happen for you in your first house, Pisces rising, you're gonna have a stellium You're going to feel magnetic and powerful and beautiful, especially when it goes direct, and Mercury gonna go there also, and Saturn and North Node and Neptune still gonna be there. So it's like, wow, this is going to be very powerful time for you, Pisces. All right, so what's the remedies of Venus retrograde? Like because of Venus rules, currencies and also rules beauty, anything to do with Fridays, we use pink or green, okay? And you can do a prayer for Aphrodite, right? And also you can work with rose quartz and jade, for example, and any kind of beauty rituals, like for example, have a spiritual bath, but it has to have spiritual base as well. Don't do any kind of surgical, transformation, not even haircut if you don't have to, because you might going to regret. And strategic over here to find some kind of quick fix for your wealth, and be more strategic. Right now, this is the time when you can learn about actually wealth and how to do your portfolio if you want to invest, but not to take bold actions, right? And you want to have some kind of financial independence, but don't make definitely large investment. Don't buy luxurious purchases. Don't do luxurious purchases. You can use actually a red and a golden wallet during this time. Also, you can attract with green. Even in Feng Shui, you can attract with green because it's going to grow the wood, right? And it's really good soil for wealth. And you can also donate to military and military veterans, for example, or anything to do with Venetian energy, like garden. Have flowers in the house. Make sure you have a lot of flower in the house, or you just plant flowers. April is time to plant. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening, being here with me. I'm going to come up with Neptune going to Aries video tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye for now.